Welcome to Bible Signs of Times. This channel is about knowing and being updated of the events around the world about the signs before the soon second coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. May these videos help us discern the times. Shalom and God bless.
Today's hearing allowed both sides to voice their concerns. One common theme, discrimination against any American is wrong. Republicans, though, did want to make one thing clear, and that's that the Equality Act could diminish religious freedom.
Discrimination remains a daily reality.
Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin, the first openly gay senator, says a lot of progress has been made for the LGBT community since she first came to Washington in 1999. But more is needed. She and her Democratic colleagues think the Equality Act is the next step.
1 out of 3 LGBTQ Americans, including 3 out of 5 transgender Americans, experienced discrimination over the past year.
No person should be discriminated against in America. No one. That's who we are. It's a basic constitutional principle.
And while Republicans like Senator James Lankford agree on that point, they also want to make sure religious freedom is protected.
For the people that believe children of any age or size or degree of development are worthy of life, we're not bigots. We're people who live by our genuine faith and see a child as a child.
The Equality Act would expand the 1964 Civil Rights Act by broadening the definition of protected classes to include sexual orientation and gender identity. Senator Chuck Grassley raised concerns about what the legislation would mean for religious institutions.
What will happen to Catholic or Methodist affiliated hospitals, which provide excellent service to the public, if this bill is enacted?
And for women's sports.
This accomplished athlete has been forced to compete against biological men.
Conservative groups like the Heritage Foundation and Family Research Council oppose the Equality Act, and nearly 60 black pastors have signed a letter voicing their opposition to it too. They're endorsing the Fairness for All Act instead, which would offer LGBTQ civil rights protections in areas like housing and employment while still protecting religious freedom.
A special envoy to the UN from Myanmar's disbanded democratic parliament has warned that the country will witness its greatest civil war if violence continues without strong measures from the international community. This comes as Myanmar has seen more than 180 deaths since the coup began. Our Choi Min-jung reports.
Myanmar's special envoy to the United Nations has warned that the country might face the greatest civil war it has seen as deadly violence continues to escalate in the region. According to Sky News on Monday, Dr. Sasa, the international envoy appointed by the disbanded Democratic Parliament, said the country will plunge into civil war if international coalitions do not take action against Myanmar's army. The envoy called on countries to impose coordinated, targeted, and tougher sanctions against the junta. In response, Myanmar's military on Tuesday charged Sasa with high treason for his act to overthrow the army. Meanwhile, the army's deadly use of power against peaceful protesters continues to intensify in Myanmar. According to the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners, some 183 people have been killed since the military took power in a coup on February 1st. The country saw the greatest single-day death toll last Sunday, with around 60 people dead. The junta also consolidated its power by declaring martial law in a large part of Yangon. Earlier this month, pro-democracy leaders called on international oil and gas companies, including South Korea's POSCO, to suspend all business ties with the military junta in a move to block the military from receiving foreign revenue.
In this reel, you're going to see my amigo, Chris Umi. He's going to introduce to you the wonderful world of deepfakes, how AI and VFX are unlocking the future of our imaginations. What's up, TikTok? You guys cool if I play some sports?
A deadly shooting rampage in Georgia. 3 different spas at the Atlanta area. 8 people killed, 6 of them Asian women. Tonight, the gunman in custody, he's now been charged with 8 counts of murder. The first shooting in a suburb of Atlanta around 5 p.m. last night, 4 people found dead. And then within an hour, police were called to 2 other spas in northeast Atlanta across the street from one another, where they found additional victims. Police quickly releasing these surveillance images of the suspect outside one of the locations. And tonight, we've now learned that it was the parents of 21-year-old Robert Long who identified their own son. Police stopping him in what they call a pit maneuver on a highway 150 miles away. They believe he might have planned more attacks in Florida.
Georgia investigators say that the 21-year-old who they just charged with murder is talking tonight. 6 of the 8 people he's now accused of killing are Asian women. And if they hadn't stopped him, police believe that Robert Aaron Long, seen here, would have continued on to Florida and gunned down more workers at similar businesses.
Some guy came in and took the gun, so everybody heard the gunshot.
Around 5 p.m. Tuesday, Long was seen in this surveillance video outside Young's Asian massage parlor in the North Atlanta suburbs. Police say he walked in, started shooting, and killed 4 people, 3 of them Asian. The niece of a victim who lived says her uncle wasn't even inside the business when he was shot.
He was coming out of the store beside the massage parlor and the other store beside it, and he was outside.
In the time it took to drive from the suburbs into the city, the call came into Atlanta police about another shooting at a similar business, a 24-hour spa.
We do not have a witness that actually is alive right now that can tell us who shot him.
While police were trying to help people who were dying at that location, witnesses were calling them about another shooting at another 24-hour spa directly across the street.
We need to make sure if we have any Asian spas, we need to be checking on them.
Police caught up with Long's black SUV south of the city, ran it off the road, and arrested the 21-year-old. His parents were the ones who called authorities and pointed the way. Police say they found him by tracking his cell phone. But investigators tonight now believe that the reasons behind these killings weren't as much about race and were more about violence against women. They say Long told them he was struggling with a sex addiction and was returning to punish the businesses he used to pay.
The violent impact of dozens of storms that hammered communities from Texas all the way to Georgia. Terrifying scenes like this. Take a look at this. This is in Silas, Alabama. It shows how millions face danger, with many now waking up to a very difficult reality this morning. In all, nearly 24 tornadoes were reported, especially in Mississippi and Alabama. And that's where our lead national correspondent, David Bagno, is this morning. He's in the city of Tuscaloosa. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, my friend. We found one hell of a story of survival. Jennifer Patterson in her mobile home. She hears that there's a tornado approaching the Moundville area about 2 minutes down the road. So she knows, listen, they tell you don't want to be in a mobile home when a tornado's coming. So she tries to get to her car, realizes she forgot her keys, goes back to the mobile home and realizes, I don't have time to get the keys or get in the car. So she runs behind the mobile home to the woods and holds onto a tree. Watch this.
This is my living room. This is where I sit every day.
Jennifer Patterson told our Birmingham affiliate CBS 42 that when she saw a storm coming toward her home, she ran into a ravine in the woods.
I was down in there holding on, and that little tree right there yonder is probably the one I was holding on to.
She stayed on her phone with her son as the trees collapsed around her.
He was hearing his mama scream. He was hearing the sound go, and you know, I was just, all I could do was just say, Jesus, watch over me, Jesus, watch over me. And then it just kept going and going and going. And finally, I just said, Jesus, take it away. And it's just like you could hear it easing up.
She says she was worried she wasn't going to survive. And now she is picking up what's left of her property. There are others in similar situations, from homes in Alabama to farms in Mississippi.
I just hear it. I hear the tornado. It's just coming, and oh my God, it was horrible. And my baby, she just crying and crying and crying.
Sabrina Hargrove says she and her child sheltered in a bathtub with her boyfriend and put a mattress on top of them. as what they believed was a tornado hit their home, blowing out the windows to the home and their vehicles.
Only thing I could do is just lay there and just wait for it to pass.
Daryl, get a shot of this. Blue, the dog, was outside when the tornado hit the home. Outside.
Yes, he was outside, and only thing I could think about was, Lord, is my dog okay? Because right now the Lord had spared our lives. We're okay. So I get up, look out the back window, and he's out there just standing like nothing even happened. Like he's a soldier.
At the nearby University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, hundreds of students packed into campus buildings after they were forced to shelter in place. Across the region, you had schools, vaccination clinics, businesses, all shut down after people were warned it's going to be a dangerous day. We will end with the good news. No major injuries and no deaths.
Wow.
Anthony.
That is really good news when you look at the pictures of those tornadoes, David. Thank you.